Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best 65-inch TVs.
Starting at number 5.
LG B3 series. If you want something cheaper but still want high-end features and great performance, a mid-range TV like the LG OLED 65B3 PUA, otherwise known as the LG B3 OLED, is an excellent choice. It's a great mid-range TV and can be an excellent entry point into the OLED market. The TV has all the features of the more expensive LG C3 OLED, but the B3 is dimmer and has only 2 HDMI 2.1 bandwidth ports. It still delivers outstanding picture quality, especially in a dark room, with its near-infinite contrast ratio delivering deep, inky blacks with no distracting blooming. Its built-in WebOS platform is just as fast on this lower-tier model, and it still has very good image processing, so it has no issues upscaling lower-resolution content if you watch DVDs, cable boxes, or Blu-rays. It also has Dolby Vision HDR and supports DTS advanced audio formats, which is great for physical media as it tends to use DTS for their audio tracks. Its viewing angle is fantastic, so viewers can watch the TV from all over the room without degrading their viewing experience. Like the C3, this TV has a wide color gamut and is extremely accurate without any calibration, so movies look as the content creator intended. This TV is also great for gaming, as it's compatible with every VRR technology, has a fantastic response time, and has an extremely low input lag. Its 2 HDMI 2.1 ports have up to 4K at 120 Hz support, although, unfortunately, one of its HDMI 2.1 ports also doubles as the TV's eARC port, leaving you with only one high-speed port if you have a soundbar connected through eARC.
Coming at number 4.
LG C3 series. If you want a good home entertainment OLED but don't want to get the expensive Sony A95L OLED, check out one of the best upper mid-range TVs we've tested, the LG OLED 65C3 PUA. It's a premium TV with perfect blacks that delivers stunning picture quality, especially in dark rooms, and thanks to its near-infinite contrast ratio, there's no blooming around bright objects. Its reflection handling is incredible, and it gets bright enough to fight glare in moderately lit rooms, but it's not bright enough to overcome glare in a well-lit room. Its OLED panel isn't as bright or colorful as the QD-OLED panel in the Samsung S90C OLED. However, the LG TV partly makes up for it by being more versatile, as it has better image processing, Dolby Vision HDR support, Dolby Vision gaming at 120 Hz, and can pass through advanced DTS audio formats. It's also a great TV for gamers, supporting all variable refresh rate, VRR, technologies for a nearly tear-free gaming experience from any VRR-enabled source. Its 4 HDMI ports have HDMI 2.1 bandwidth for 4K at 120 Hz gaming from a recent console or gaming PC. Ultimately, you can't beat an OLED if you use your TV mostly in a dark room. If you love this TV but wish it were more vibrant, consider the more expensive LG G3 OLED. The G3 is one of the brightest OLEDs on the market and is certainly brighter than the C3, but the price difference is not worth it for most people. The 2024 LG C4 OLED is also now available. It has minor upgrades, like better HDR accuracy and slightly better HDR brightness, and it supports up to 4K at 144 Hz for PC gamers with high-end rigs. Unfortunately, it's quite expensive at launch. Unless you're a gamer with a powerful PC, your money is better spent on the cheaper C3 OLED while it's still available and on sale.
At number 3.
Sony 65-inch. The Sony K65XR90 is the best 65-inch TV for bright rooms. Its superb reflection handling and SDR brightness mean it easily overcomes glare in the brightest of rooms, so you aren't distracted by reflections on your TV screen. As impressive as this TV is in a bright room, it also looks spectacular in a dark room. It has exceptional contrast that delivers incredibly deep blacks that are close to what you get from an OLED like the Sony A95L OLED, with almost no blooming, thanks to its highly effective local dimming control. It's also a great option for 4K Blu-ray collectors or those looking to get the most out of high-quality streaming services due to its support for Dolby Vision and DTS audio formats. The TV's image processing is excellent for upscaling and smoothing out low-quality content. It's also very accurate in both SDR and HDR, so it delivers an image that respects the content creator's intent. Unfortunately, its viewing angle is mediocre. It's not the best option if you regularly watch shows or movies with a big group of friends since the image degrades when viewed from the sides of the screen. However, it's a great option if you need a TV that pairs well with modern consoles. It has HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on 2 ports, up to 4K at 120 Hz, and it supports VRR, so it's fully compatible with the PS5 and Xbox Series X, S. On top of those features, the TV has a quick response time for minimal blur behind fast motion, and it has incredibly low input lag for a responsive gaming experience. It also has good speakers built in. If the 65-inch Bravia 9 is too expensive and you want a Sony TV, you could opt for last year's cheaper Sony X93L/X93CL instead. Although its contrast isn't nearly as good as the Bravia 9's, it still delivers fairly deep blacks in a dark room. It's not as bright either, but it's bright enough to overcome glare in a well-lit room, and you still get Sony's fantastic accuracy and image processing.
Number 2 of my list.
Sony QD-OLED. Although it's more expensive than the Samsung S90C OLED, if you want the best possible home theater experience, the Sony XR65A95L is the best 65-inch TV you can get. While it uses a QD-OLED panel like the Samsung model, it has much better image processing, and its colors and brightness are more accurate overall, so it displays content the way its creator intended. It also supports Dolby Vision HDR, a more widely used dynamic HDR format than Samsung's HDR10+. If you like to play games, it's also a fantastic gaming TV with HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on 2 of its HDMI ports, VRR support, and very low input lag, even though it's a bit higher than on the Samsung. Unfortunately, one of its HDMI 2.1 ports is also the eARC port, so you'll need to work around that if you have multiple HDMI 2.1 devices. If you want to enhance your home theater setup with a surround sound system, you'll also be happy to know it supports audio pass-through for all common formats. It runs the Google TV interface with a sleek look and an easy-to-use menu. It has a massive selection of streaming apps, and the TV's built-in mic supports hands-free voice control, so you can easily find your favorite streaming shows, even when you can't find the remote. If you want a Sony TV for the best home theater experience but find the A95L too expensive, consider the Sony A80L/A80CL OLED. It's a step down in overall brightness and color vibrancy due to its OLED panel. However, it's still an amazing TV, with great processing and advanced audio and video format support.
And number 1.
Samsung 65-inch. The best 65-inch TV we've tested is the Samsung QN65S90 CAFXA, commonly known as the S90C. It's an impressive TV that delivers fantastic picture quality and looks amazing with any content. Its QD-OLED panel provides a perfect contrast ratio, with no distracting blooming around bright objects, and its colors are incredibly vibrant and realistic. It gets extremely bright, so highlights in HDR stand out well, and with its fantastic reflection handling, it can easily overcome glare in a bright room. Unfortunately, it doesn't support Dolby Vision HDR, it instead supports HDR10+, a similar, albeit not as widespread, HDR format. Otherwise, it's a fantastic TV with a great selection of extra features. It supports Bixby and Amazon's Alexa voice assistants, and its Tizen operating system is fast and easy to use. It's a fantastic TV for console gamers looking to get the most out of their Xbox Series X or PS5. It's also perfect for gamers wanting to take advantage of their recent PC GPU, as it supports 4K at 144 Hz gaming on all 4 HDMI ports and variable refresh rate, VRR, technology to help reduce screen tearing. If you're looking for something even better, The Samsung S95C OLED is Samsung's 2023 flagship option and is an amazing TV. It's brighter than the S90C, but for most people, it's not worth the significant price premium over its lower-tier sibling. The Samsung S90D/S90DD OLED is now available. It has less banding in colors, does a better job smoothing out low-quality content, and gets brighter in HDR, but it's also currently a lot more expensive. Unless you really want the small upgrades it offers, you're better off buying the cheaper S90C while it's still available. It's worth mentioning that Samsung's 2024 OLED lineup is confusing, as they're releasing S90DS with both OLED and QD-OLED panels, depending on the region and size. You can read more about this here.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.